Hello, y'all. What's up, Richard? I saw when I was going to go live at the show, Richard. I saw you chime in. I didn't know it was gonna. I didn't know that was gonna be the outcome, but I was excited. I should have went live at this last show yesterday, last night. If I was thinking, I would have did that. That would have been a great show to go live on to Instagram, my Instagram or Facebook. I posted a little bit of the show. There was a lot of people. Fun. I had a lot of fun. That's quick when it works. Oops. That was quick when it works. That part. Oh, I need to eat. I haven't ate. My days have been so busy. I have so many messages I have to check. Text messages, basic stuff. Email I gotta check. Oh no, not 75. Oh man. I'm going 75? Damn. Go over and slow down. I need to be at like 65. Anyway, sorry. But yeah, it's just been really busy lately. So busy. In a good way. In a very, very good way. For those of you that don't know, I'm invested in, well, y'all probably already know I was doing commercial real estate, all right, working on finding a property. So now I have the music and that. So I'm adamant about buying my first apartment, really, and then my proximity sensor going to slow the truck down to like what, bruh. Time to give the face because I'm about to pass it. But yeah, so I love commercial real estate. I don't know why I love commercial real estate so much. Obviously the income, but I've been in several managerial positions. So I like managing, I like overseeing, I like micromanaging. I like analyzing things. I like trying to figure out what the future is of a specific asset. What's up, Patrick? So when I have my own property and I can do money and how, like, that excites me. So I really want my own property and I'm going to do it this year. I'm not being denied. Like, there's a lot of people that started out stopping by to say hi. What does it? Stopping by to say hi and thumbs up. Out shopping. See you later. Buy something that you know I like cookies. Thank you for stopping by. Sexy and complete. Thank you for stopping by. But yeah, I just want an asset that I can just bring from one state and bring it up to a higher standard. But I want to find something that is a little dusty, you know what I mean? A little dusty. It needs a little work. That's what I want. So I can fix it up and bring it and, watch it grow and develop into something. And then when I'm done with that, obviously cash out of it and get the profits and move on to a bigger and bigger project. My end game, yes, Rod, everyone needs a place to live, shop, eat, etc. Go get your dream. Old comes sooner than expected. Exactly. Here's the thing, like, I'm glad you mentioned old. I was reflecting today and I was thinking to myself, I was like, wow, things that happened when I was 3, 4, and 5, and 6, whichever in that range that I can remember, it happened so long ago. Sometimes I'm like, did it really happen? Obviously it did, but it's like, it's so long ago. It's just a figment of, well, it's just a part of my memory now. So a lot of times I recall that, and I'm like, man, that did it really happen? Because it's been so long ago, and I'm not. It's not like I'm in my 50s or 60s, not even in my 40s yet. So, but yeah, anyway. So commercial real estate. That's. I can't wait to own my first property. Mail you a copy of the book. Okay. You have me on Facebook, Patrick. Message me on Facebook, and when I see that message, we'll discuss how I can get you the book. Because I do want to come to Atlanta. I did tell you I was going to come to Atlanta and bring you one personally, signed copy. So I don't think there's nothing wrong with making that happen. I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. I will drive to Atlanta and bring you a copy of my book, a signed copy. So yeah. But yeah, so buying a property and oh, my end game. So my end game, I want to buy a ship. I want to buy a cruise ship. When I was in the market for it during the pandemic, obviously because the pandemic was causing companies to shut down and causing people to enter financial crisis, definitely when it comes to corporations and big businesses. So I was like, wow, the ship industry would be a great industry to invest in. So I was trying to see what it looks like to enter that industry, and finding a good entry point. And I was shopping around for two things. I was shopping around for a ship, for one, to see what the market is like what the cost range. The cost for what I wanted was like $225 million. So obviously I created syndication in order to buy a ship, a cruise line. The second thing I was looking for is income and expenses. I wanted to see income statements and expenses of ships to see how they make their money. See, like, for perfect example, if I bought a football stadium, when you go to a football stadium, you pay your money, you go to a stadium, you see the event, but while you're there, ships are anchors with big engines, very big engines. So when you walk into a football stadium, you pay your money to be there. That's tickets. But when you go there, you may buy a hot dog for like $10 that they only paid 10 cents for, 20 cents for, 30 cents. So imagine if you bought 10,000, imagine you bought 80,000 hot dogs at 10 cents a piece, but you're reselling them for $10. You do the math. That's how stadiums make their money. They say, how can we bring people into this venue? Because we know what our overhead is to operate this establishment. They say, how can I bring people in and get them to buy our products? So if you did the math on 10-cent hot dogs, selling, let's say they sell 10,000 hot dogs at $10. You do the math, 10,000 times $10. That's a lot of money for a 10-cent flip. So they took 10 cents and turned it into $10. That's all these businesses do. And that's just a hot dog. We're not talking about the soda. We're not talking about the chips. We ain't even talking about merchandise. Concessions are there. Exactly. So I know how they make money, but I want to know how ships make their money. What is their focus when it comes to profitability? What are they buying for cheap, selling for profit? Now, I do know by average, ships, they say usually a guest spends $200 per hour, or $200 per day. I think it's $200 per day by average. It was either $150 to $300 per day. And these ships carry 5,000 to 10,000 people. So you do the math. And that wasn't including ticket costs. That's just spending on the ship. So with those basic figures, I was like, I want a ship. I want the challenge. I want the challenge of creating a syndication and having a ship. I'm definitely going to have an apartment complex. I want at least 3 to 4 apartment complexes. So, but that's first. The apartment complexes, play other games in commercial real estate, maybe like dealing with office, strip malls, find me an anchor, stuff like that. And then when I'm done playing with that, then I want to move on to creating a syndication for my first cruise line. And I don't know what I'm going to dibble and dabble in after that. But all of that income is going to give me the freedom to do music the way I want, which is what I want. I don't want music to gain fans so they can buy my products and so they can buy my books. Cool. But I want to create music because I just love music. I just want to, as long as I believe it's possible, there's a fighting chance. But yeah, I just want to use my music and just express myself. That's it. Just like I'm doing now. The same thing I'm doing right now on this live is the same thing I want to do in my music. I just want to talk to somebody. I just want to be able to speak into somebody's life. I want them to be able to relate. I want them to find commonality with what I can create as a creator, as an artist. Everything that I do is not going to be good because, whew, man, I was a horrible writer. I could not write music well at all. Everybody want to cut me off today, but it's fine. Maybe they need to get somewhere more importantly than I do. Ooh, they almost hit each other. She ain't on the phone. But yeah, so music. But yeah, I just want to create music that people can enjoy and feel and connect with it. Just like my book, I just want my book to help people. I don't care about the income. I don't care what the money produced. I don't care about selling. I don't care about saying, oh, I sold the book. I mean, it's a good feeling, and I can't take pride into that, saying I wrote a book. But at the end of the day, what matters more is me helping people. What matters more is me inspiring people. That's why I named my book The Life That Brightens the Light. I want to brighten the light within everybody that I meet. That's important to me because my light was lit one day. Someone lit a fire in me, and that light has been brightening ever since. I told it was a young guy, 20 years old. I don't know if he was Puerto Rican. I don't know if he was Latin. I don't know if he was from Cuba. I don't know where he's from, but I know he's Latin. He was about 20 years old, and he asked me for a few dollars. And I started talking to him because I was curious. I remember being 20 years old for one. So it's no judgment there. I understand. But I wanted to know, who is his parents? Where is he from? Why? Because I know my background. I didn't have parental guidance. So I was out here in the world looking stupid, man. Like I didn't know how to pay a bill. I was on the street on my own at 18. At 18. And before 18, I wasn't raised by anybody that was giving me game. Nobody was teaching me about credit. No one was teaching me about how to protect my criminal record. No one was telling me about protecting the driver's license, make sure I don't lose it. No one was telling me about children. Like, even when it comes to having children, I love my children, but I had children too early. I was trying to start a family because I felt like if I started a family, I would have somebody that loves me unconditionally. You know what I mean? That was the wrong reason to create a family. And all that did is put me on child support. And I didn't even have a career at that time. I didn't have income. So it's like, without that guidance and coming out here in the world, I was already a downward trajectory before I even turned 18. Once I turned 18, everything else was no guidance. So I had to learn as I go. So I see the 20-year-old and he asked me for the money. And I asked him, I was like, so where you from? And I asked him about his family. His mother is in his life, but she having her own issues. She's the same age as I am. She was in jail at the time of our conversation, which is today. And I asked him, I was like, so what's your plans? And he was like, well, I want to become an artist. I want to do this. I want to do that. I was like, well, I'm going to be honest with you. I wish somebody would have told me this when I was your age, but I know it'll help you. Do you know everything that's happening to you is your choices, your decisions, your thoughts, your words, what you're hearing, who you're around? You know that's all you. It's nobody else. It's just you and your thoughts. So I want you to approach life moving forward after today with, you are where you are because you put yourself there. It may sound bad now, but you get a pass because you didn't know. But now you do. You get to determine where you want to go from here. This flesh right here is going to pull you wherever it wants to go. But you have to separate yourself from the flesh. Right now, I cannot see you. There's a spirit inside of you operating and lighting and moving, operating this body. That part of you can do whatever you want. It's nothing that's really limited about you. It's just the flesh get in the way. You see what I'm saying? Because the body wants things. The body wants sex. The body wants food. The body wants stuff that is unhealthy, that tastes good, but doesn't nourish your body. So the challenge is you against you. And I asked him later on, and when I thought he forgot about that, I tested him. I asked him later. I say, I have a question for you. He was like, what? Who is against you? He was like, society. I know. I'm like, nope. Listen to the question. Who is against you? Who are you competing against? He was like, nobody. I'm like, you're competing against yourself. It's you against you. He was like, oh, that's right. You are bringing you down, or either you are bringing you up. However, if you're not bringing yourself up, if you're not bringing yourself down, you're doing everything by default. Therefore, you have no control. You don't. There's no steering wheel on this car, and it's just going wherever it goes by default. It's default, so it's really no direction. It's just going. And if the wind manipulates it, the wind may carry it this way. If a bump manipulates it, it may go that way. If I hit something, it's gonna stop. So if you're not in control, if you don't take the steering wheel right, that started the truck again. If you don't take control and figure out your direction, there is no direction. You're just going. So you against you is just saying, take the wheel, know what you want, know how you want it, and get what you want. If you want what you have right now, fine. But if you don't, what are you going to do to change it? And then I told him this, and I was like, here's something that somebody taught me. And when I learned this changed my life. I said, what you focus on expands. I'm going to say it again. What you focus on expands. That means you're going to get more of what you're thinking about. You're going to get more of what you're talking about. You're going to get more of what you're hearing. You're going to get more of what you're surrounded by. So if you're surrounded by garbage, you're going to get garbage. If you're speaking garbage, you're going to get garbage. You're thinking garbage, you're going to get garbage. You are where you are because you determine. This is a perfect example. When a friend of mine come to me and say, oh man, my friend, he did this to me, he did that to me, and I can't believe he stole all my stuff. I was like, yeah, you deserved it. Like, why? You allowed them in your space. You allowed them in your life. You allowed them in your atmosphere, your realm. Did you decide to hang out with them, or they forced themselves around you? You got a restraining order and they wasn't supposed to be around you or your stuff. Why everybody cutting me off? Focus. So who decided to allow them in your space? You did. You gave them permission. If you didn't know that was the type of people they were, you didn't give yourself enough time to scrutinize whether this is the type of person you want in or around you, and that's still your fault. If you did give enough time and you thought you knew them, they deceived you, that's a little bit different, but at the end of the day, you permitted them in your life. So therefore, you have an option, you have control. So when my friend comes and tell me, oh, they did this to me, they did that, you allowed it. Have you cut them off? Are you done? No, we still talk every once in a while. You're still allowing it. This is what you want. You're getting exactly what you want. You're permitting these things in your space. This is your choice. Look, you see this truck? Ain't nobody in here. Nobody in here right now. But the people that are around me are special. Sometimes your surroundings make your circumstances change them if it's not positive. Exactly. And that speaks to what you focus on expands. So if I got somebody sitting around here, oh, my life is this, oh, my life is that, oh, my life is this, you're creating it. Why is that on the top of your mind? Why is that all you thinking about? And then here's a telltale. When a person that complains like that, when they get what they're talking about, so here, I'm gonna give you an example. And let me say this first. When they get what they're talking about, then they say, see, I told you, it always happened to me. This is how it sounds. This is an example. Man, I don't know why. Every time I turn around, matter of fact, I'm doing it. I'm gonna put myself on blast because I can look in the mirror. You sexy. So I'm gonna put myself on blast. I'm sitting here, why everybody's been cutting me off today? Since I've been on this live, 3 people done cut me off. Why do I keep emphasizing it with my mouth? Law of attraction. I'm attracting what I want. If I don't want it, dismiss the thought, dismiss the idea, dismiss speaking it. Don't do it. So this is a perfect example. I'm doing it to myself. And when you understand this, you have, and I was telling him that. I was like, when you understand this put the power in your hands. But you got to know who you are. You got to know what you want. And in order to find out who you are, this is the very first thing you need to do. And now I'm not just talking to him. When I'm saying this now, I was talking to him then. But when I'm saying this right now, I'm talking to you, whoever's listening. In order to figure out who you are, the very first thing, this is the first thing you need to do. You need to figure out who you are not. Because society want to tell you who you are. Your friends want to tell you who you are. Your mama want to tell you who you are. Your cousins want to tell you who you are. And if they don't tell you, they're going to tell somebody else who you are. Somebody got something to say about you. Now, what you believe is the difference of who you actually are. If you believe in what they say, subconsciously or consciously, then you're creating that because you're accepting it, you're believing it, and you're acting it out as if you are that. So therefore, that's you. So if you want to figure out who you are, you first got to determine what you are not. You need to classify and deem yourself who and what you want to be and what you are. And then start speaking it, walking it, and then the actions will take over from there. But you have to determine what you are not. Then after you stripped away all of that, and that wall is clear, it's no paint on it, all the primer's been erased, now you can put a real project on there. Figure out what you really want to paint. Figure out what light you want to shine. Because it's everything's possible. So I had a long talk with him, and I had so much stuff to do, and I literally sat there and talked to him probably like 40, 50 minutes. And I ended up giving him one of my books for free. And I told him, this is exactly what I told him about my book. I was like, look, I'm not giving you this book because how did I word it? Well, let me speak to you as if I was talking to him, because that's the only way I'm going to rehash what I said to him. Look, I sell these books, but I don't care about selling this book. I just want to know, if I give you this book, are you going to read it? Because everything we're talking about right now is in this book. My experiences, the thoughts that I thought, matter of fact, remember we was just talking about what you focus on expands. I break all that down in this book. This is what has given me the keys to who I am. If you're not going to read it, that's not going to hurt my feelings. All I want is the truth. It's fine if you're not going to read it. I just don't want to give it to you if you're not going to read it. You're not going to utilize it, because I can go sell it, and I want to go sell it. But what I want right now is for this book to give you insight, to help you take control of your life and do exactly what you want with your life in totality for the rest of your life, doing the things that you want, having what you want, and measuring it and getting exactly what you're shooting at. And if you're not going to read this book, that's not going to make me upset. I'm not mad. I understand. If you don't read, you don't read. If you don't want to know what's in there, you don't want to know what's in there. I just want to know you're going to read it. And if you're not, I don't want to give it to you. He was like, no. What we talked, you see how I'm clicking. This is what he said. You see how we're clicking. You see how we're locked in. I have already had thoughts like this on this kind of topic. I just had no one to talk to it about. So that's why we've been sitting here almost an hour talking about it. And I was like, very good point. So you made me feel comfortable that that's something you can read. So I gave him the book. I gave him my Instagram so we can connect. And if he had any questions, need anything, any help or anything, he can contact me anytime. But I am going to follow up with him, because I do want to know what he got from it. You know, I don't need it. It's not validation, but I want to see. I have my own idea of how I think my book will help people, but I want to know their perspective so I don't create my own reality around that, if that makes sense. So, yeah, that happened today. I realized through listening to motivational speakings since I'm from 18 to this day, I figured out what I was going with that. I totally lost my train of thought. I hate when that happens. I'll think of it though. But what motivational speaking has done for me, to listen to that type of content, is giving me access to information that I didn't have before. And when I engage the information and apply it to my life and what I have going on, I see the changes. I even feel the emotional change. Like, perfect example,